Hey guys, it's Beginnings here. Hope you guys have had a wonderful weekend so far. Today's video is finally going to be on Lumburr, as you can see from the build at the beginning of the video. Speaking of builds, I wanted to address the fact that the builds at the beginning of the video are always situational. And I kind of want to go more in depth as to what that means. So if you guys want to see a video basically all about builds and support builds and what items are best on what heroes and why, be sure to let me know in the comments. So we do start on the same side of our jungler this game because they have a Grak. We kind of just want to make sure that the Grak isn't going to be invading our jungle. You can see my mid laner is getting kind of beat up there, but I see that Grak misses his hook. He does hit a minion. I don't walk up because I don't want to soak my mid laner's wave. You can see the Azenka is still level 1 while Tulin is level 2. Because he's level 2, we will be able to secure this small camp, which means that the enemy jungler will not be level 4 after his first clear. That's pretty good. Tulin is basically the only mage you can do that with when you're running Lumburr support, because he doesn't really do damage. He doesn't have a really strong level 1. Then you have to have somebody that is very strong level 1 and 2 who is lane dominant. That's the type of mage that Lumburr is best with, honestly, because that just means that instead of having to worry about the mid lane, you can just get them vision and scout through the enemy. Like, you're not very good at trading very much. Like, your first ability does some damage, but your auto attacks do nothing, right? And you don't want to dash in because that puts you at a pretty awkward position. I did start rotating up there, but then I see Violet walked into lane. Telenis did walk up, so Violet backed out, so I'm just going to start rotating up. My team will secure the kill onto the Wukong, but Tulin does get hooked under the tower, so he dies. That means that nobody is going to be getting the dragon at 2 minutes because their jungler died, our mid laner died, and Tara went back to her blue buff. Grak walks into this bush, but I'm not going to be able to do anything. Like I mentioned before, don't really do much pre-4. Pretty big lull in Lumburr's power spiking abilities, I suppose. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this dragon once again because Azenka was bot. That means that they have 3 bot side, and there is a possibility that they can try to do a cheeky little dragon. Unfortunately, Azenka does path pretty aggressive here, so we will manage to get the kill onto him. I think Tulin's gonna die, but he does manage to dash out and dodge Wukong's auto attack. Very interesting mechanic. There are a few heroes in this game whose auto attacks you can dodge, and it's always really satisfying when you do manage to pull that off. We're doing really well so far. Azenka's a pretty weak mid laner, so we can bully them pretty hard. Grak hasn't really been affecting this game very much. I think he's landed maybe 1 hook that was effective. I ping to attack the dragon. I know that my mid laner has to clear, but afterwards we can definitely do this dragon. I go up to soak so I can hit 4, and then I go ahead and I jump onto this Grak and to this Azenka because they are pathing very aggressively, and you do not do that against Lumburr Tulin. We will manage to secure both of the kills while Tara was ganking bot and killing the Violet on top of that. Definitely a free dragon now. I see that the Wukong is messing with the Tulin, so I go ahead and help out my Tulin. We do chunk him out to about 1/8 HP, I guess. I don't know. So we get a free dragon out of that. So why is Lumburr so good? Lumburr can do just about anything. He's good for peel, he's good for engage, he's good for disengage, he's good for pushing towers. He's just so strong. The amount of CC that he has and utility that he has, his passive, I think at level 15 gives like 200 bonus armor and MR to the lowest ally, which is insane. Just a really good support. Definitely one of my favorite right now. I saw the Violet rolled forward, so I go ahead and dash forward and use my ultimate. We do secure the kill onto her, even though Grak ulted, and Tel does get the Grak really, really low as well. I think about pushing this tower, but then I see that there is a wave coming once again, and Grak will more than likely be able to defend that. it's going to be pretty hard for us to take that tower, especially with Wukong around the bottom side of the map. I just go ahead and dash forward to try to secure this blue buff. I think Tulin actually gets it. Yeah, it looks like he gets it, and he did a really nice job of positioning behind that Wukong, even though his ult was aimed at the Violet. If you didn't know, if your ult as Tulin kills anybody, even if it's not the person you're targeting, you still get the refresh on it. Pretty interesting mechanic and very well played by KZ. Definitely the best tool in NA. My team and I do a very good job at stacking our CC there, so Ahri really never had a chance to ult and escape. We get the mid tower because their mid laner and their dragon laner, who rotated to defend, both died. And I was going to recall, but my team was looking to be in a pretty sticky situation, so I go just to help them out a little bit. Having an extra body is kind of underrated. A lot of times supports, specifically your tanks, will just kind of let their team die and walk away. But I'd say a good like 60% of the time, if you just walk up without even using abilities, like you're just threatening with your ult or with your dash or whatever, the enemy team will walk away. And something that not a lot of people do, but it's probably a very underrated mechanic, I would say, in my mind. Unfortunately, our Mina side lane does die top because she got dove by the Ahri and the Azenka, but we have almost total control over the bot side of the map. Tulin and I have been kind of camping the bot side. This game is honestly mostly a 3v7 at this point. Mina side lane really hasn't been doing much. Ahri's been able to rotate pretty much freely. We knew when his blue buff was going to be up, so we go ahead and rotate back towards it. I haven't mentioned this in a long time, so I'll mention it again. Timers for buffs is 1.5 minutes, and timers for flicker is 2 minutes. Sprint is 90 seconds as well, and I believe heal is also 2 minutes. I actually don't know about heal. I could be wrong. I see that Tara is doing some stuff top, and I know she's going to go for the dive, so I pop my Ring of the Fiend to kind of just rotate faster. That way I can help her out if need be. Like if a wild Wukong appears, we will throw our first ability down onto the Wukong so he does a little bit less damage. Mina does a really nice job of hooking the Azenka back into my ultimate, and we managed to secure both kills there, meaning that we will be able to push this top tower because Ahri just dashed away and she will not be able to defend this tower against the three of us. It'll take a second because we don't really do much auto attack damage between Mina and I, but Telenis is there to help us out. We're just going to go ahead and push out this wave. Ahri can defend, except she uses all of her dashes, and she didn't think that we were going to take that red buff, I guess. So she does die for free, basically. Now would have been a pretty good time to go for a Darkslayer, but we do have another top wave coming, so we're just going to go ahead and make sure that we can finish off that tower. I was debating going in there to help out my Mina, but there was a pretty big chance if I did dash in to give her a shield, I would have died as well, considering there was a Grak and a Azenka ultimate there. I go ahead and flicker with my ult to make sure that it lands onto both the Grak and the Violet. Violet did roll, so my ult would not have hit her. Tara manages to beat the living hell out of this monkey through 2 towers, while Telenis does take mid. She does have to back off though because they were defending and she was taking quite a bit of poke. You notice this game, I've mostly just been rotating with my mid laner. There are quite a few different playstyles that you can choose, I guess, in a game, and it really just depends on who you're most comfortable or most synergistic with on your team. Like if I was duoing with Neo, my dragon laner for BMG, then I would spend a lot more time playing around bot side. But I'm with KZ in this game, and he's playing Tulin, and he's a very lane dominant mage. So most of the time, I'm just giving him vision so he can clear safely. I'm making sure that he isn't getting hooked under tower, and if he does, I'm around to help him. And after he clears, we just go ahead and rotate, just as two, because our jungler kind of has a mind of his own, and we're just making plays, as many plays as we can. We're trying to as heavily influence this game as we can. I'm just going to go ahead and walk up here. You see 4 people kind of just back up. They don't really want to deal with me too much, so we will get this tower for free. Mina does get hooked under tower again, but this time I throw out my ultimate. Unfortunately, the Violet ult does still kill her, but because they overcommitted for the kill onto the tank, we secure 2 kills. And meanwhile, Tulin was killing the Wukong mid lane. They have 3 dead, so we do have the chance of pushing a tower, except Talanis goes bot instead of mid. I think Azenka used his ult mid, but we're really too low, so we're not going to commit because overcommitting is bad, at least until a Violet rolls into you. I could have flickered to land my ultimate there, but it really wasn't worth. She was definitely going to die anyways, and I really didn't want to waste it. I was going to go back again, but then I see that Tulin is diving past 3 people. I jump over to give him a little shield and kind of help him out a little bit, and I just kind of walk through the Grak and the Irie. I think Grak has maybe landed 3 hooks at this point in the game. You can see Tulin is getting out quite a bit of poke damage there. Because of that, we will be able to get a lot of chunk onto this tower. Even if we don't secure it, Mina gets hooked, and we will finish the tower off. We don't want to fight because Mina and I are pretty low. Talanis isn't there. It's possible we could have won though. Tulin's really fed at this point. Don't want to overcommit for this tower because our wave is pretty low. You can see Talanis definitely overstayed quite a bit, so she had to burn her flicker so she was not caught out. Wukong was in the topside jungle, but I know that we can do Darkslayer. They're not really going to be able to contest. They're going to have minions coming in through bot side, so someone's going to have to deal with that eventually. I see Wukong walk up, so I just go ahead and pop my Ring of the Fiend and make sure that he is not going to be going anywhere. I want to no longer tank this Darkslayer because I'm pretty low and it'll get me even lower. I think this is like the longest Darkslayer I've ever seen in my entire life, probably due to the fact that we have a Mina Darkslayer lane and a Tara jungle. I kind of want gold, so I'm just going to go ahead and sit with this Talanis while she clears the wave. My team summons Drake, which was pretty smart. We freeze the mid wave a little bit because we want the waves to sync up. A very underrated mechanic in AOV, especially in solo queue or just ranked. Nobody does it, but it's really smart. You'll see right now how effective it is. So we have basically 2 waves matched. Ahri is forced to deal with top wave while we push down mid. Unfortunately, Talanis is busy messing with the Ahri instead of pushing down the tower, but we will manage to get it anyways. I assume Ahri gets poked out, so Talanis is able to push top as well as mid. Wasn't completely clean, but it was clean enough because we will be able to end the game here. This is my first actual Lumburr video where I do voiceover. I know my first one didn't really have anything. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. It was pretty fun to make. It's taken a while for me to get a Lumburr video. I guess, I don't know, I've just been unlucky. I think I'm cursed. Anyways, please drop a like and subscribe if you did enjoy this content, and I will see you guys next time. See ya.